Okay, so if you want to start freelance copywriting in 2024, I want to give you a completely free crash course on how to do that and how to earn your first 1 to 3K making money online as a freelance copywriter. I'm going to show you how to learn copywriting quickly, and I'm going to show you what the best path that you can take as a beginner freelance copywriter, and then we're going to talk about how to make money as a freelance copywriter. So let's first start talking about how to learn copywriting quickly as a beginner with no experience whatsoever. So if you're brand new to the world of copywriting, as a lot of people probably are watching this video, copywriting essentially is your way of getting somebody to do something, or helping a business sell more of the products that they're already offering. Okay, and copywriting essentially is a skill of communication and understanding human psychology. You see copywriting every single day of your lives. Got a camera box here. This has probably been written by a copywriter. Every headline you see on a newspaper, tabloid, blog article, email subject line, literally website copy, anything is probably written by a copywriter. And a copywriter is somebody who basically writes words for a business and helps the business or brand sell more of what they're already offering. That's a simple, boiled down version of what copywriting is. And when you're first starting out in copywriting, we have to establish like a base foundation understanding of what it is and how to actually become a copywriter and what is good copywriting. So when people start out, this is kind of a mistake I see when people are starting. They want to jump straight to like the hacks and tactics and all these little tiny cherry on top of the cake things that don't really make too much difference in the grand scale of things from a copywriting standpoint and how to get results for clients. What I would recommend is you focus on building a foundational knowledge of what copywriting is. And some of the resources I would recommend, one, I used to learn from a guy called Gary Halbert, which is he's an old school copywriter, probably one of the best copywriters you could ever come across. He has some really old school stuff online, a lot of reading. He used to be in prison, I believe, and he actually taught his son how to become a copywriter by writing him letters when he was in prison. So that's really interesting. There's a series called the Boron Letters, and that essentially will teach you everything you need to learn about copywriting. There's obviously YouTube videos like this one. There's a book that I would recommend checking out called Cashvertising, and that's kind of like an old school style of copywriting. You might read it and think it comes across a little bit too salesy and like hardcore selling, but the principles you will learn in that book can be applied to everything, and then you just tone it down and tone it back to what you're more comfortable with. Because I don't know about you, but I prefer being this copywriter who understands human psychology and communication and can use copywriting, but in like an organic, conversational way, rather than just hard selling people all the time and just trying to force a product or a service down someone's throat. That's like not what I like doing, and it's not like what a lot of people like. People like being sold to, but you have to understand how to approach that. Which brings me on to my next resource, which is a book by Eugene Schwartz it's a book called Breakthrough Advertising. And this book, if you can get a copy of it, it's very rare. I have a hard copy book somewhere of it. This will teach you one of the key things in copywriting, and you can probably search it online actually. You want to search and learn about market sophistication levels. So this is really important, probably one of the most important principles you will learn as a copywriter, and it's understanding to meet people where they are at essentially. Because the way you talk to someone, the way you communicate to someone is essential in copywriting, because if you talk to them in a slightly different way than they understand, or you don't understand how sophisticated they are in terms of the product or service that you are trying to promote or offer, it's not going to resonate with them, they're not going to listen to you, and they're not going to buy or move forward with the product. So understanding market sophistication levels is very, very important. Go and do some research into that. There are 5 levels of sophistication, and understanding where your customers are or the people you are writing to is critical. In fact, if you understand that one key principle, that will give you a base knowledge in a lot of what copywriting is and the power of it. I'd also recommend getting good at your craft with copywriting by writing every single day. If you've got 15 minutes, half an hour a day, focus on actually writing. Now, when I first started, I actually had A4 notebooks full of copy that all I'd done is just handwrite out. And that was the thing to do years ago. Handwrite out copy, because it does something psychologically to you when you're actually handwriting, physically handwriting. proven sales copy, and I learned a very profound skill in that. And that was a lot of old school copywriting. So it was a lot of old sales letters. You can find all this stuff online and do that yourself if you fancy doing that. It's not really my thing anymore, but I think it's a really valuable skill to do, to at least analyze and look at really old pieces of sales marketing and copy, because those principles will never change. Human psychology is never going to change since while we're around. So you may as well learn from the best and then apply it in the digital world that we're now living in. Because obviously 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, they didn't have AI and ChatGPT and all this, which we'll get onto later on. Don't think you should rely solely on ChatGPT and AI, but they can be useful tools. So now you understand how to learn copywriting quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean like in a matter of like weeks or months, not like years or how long it would take to go to university. Let's talk about copywriting paths and which type of copywriting I would recommend for a beginner. Now, I personally would recommend starting out as a freelance copywriter. And this is somebody who goes out and works individually with different brands and businesses. Now, there are different forms of copywriting that you can do. We've got email marketing, website copy, sales pages, blogs, articles, Facebook adverts, Google ads. There's literally so many different types of copywriting you can do. For the entirety of my copywriting career, I focused on email marketing and email copy. I always felt that that was the easiest to learn, easiest to provide results for clients, because I could write an email in 15 or 20 minutes that actually made money for a client. So it was like a no-brainer. Emails are something that every single person, well, most people open emails. It's still a really popular form of media. If a company isn't using email marketing, it's such a high point of leverage that you can jump on as a freelance copywriter and almost instantly increase a business's revenue. And even if they are using email marketing, they probably aren't optimizing it or doing it as well as they could, which is again an opportunity for a freelance copywriter to come in and help a business or brand increase their revenue and profit. And obviously, if you help a business or brand make more money, you should be entitled to money as well. And this is how you make money as a copywriter. So how do you get your first client? Well, I have a video here on how to get your first client, so go and check that out after you've watched this video. But it's like a chicken and egg situation. When you're first starting out and you don't have any results, any experience, how do you get your first client? So obviously you're going to have practice copywriting, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day for a couple of weeks. That's how I would recommend starting. Jump on people's email lists, see exactly what people are sending out and what you're receiving and what resonates with you, what makes you open an email. Look at what's actually going on in the email, what are they selling you, how are they positioning their writing. Start analyzing and breaking down what's working. You're then going to have tons of sample pieces of work, or most more than likely, of just Google documents of work, right? When you're reaching out to clients, they're going to ask you for experience. They're going to ask you, can I see some of your work? More than likely. It's key that you have some sort of sample to show them. And even if you don't have a sample to show them, what you can offer a client is you can say, hey, look, I don't have any samples right now, but I can write you this many emails or this piece of copy that you can run and test against what you're currently doing and see how it performs. Confidence is key in this, okay? So don't be put off if you don't have any samples or you've never actually got a client in copywriting, which a lot of people watch this may not have got a client in copywriting yet. You don't need to have tons of experience because everyone has to start somewhere, right? It's just a volume game of reaching out to a number of brands and businesses, and you just need one person to say yes and give you an opportunity. And if it's a no-brainer to them and like zero risk in terms of money, time, energy, effort, but it has a potential upside in terms of like how much money it's going to help the company make, then it's a no-brainer for them. And obviously, if they run your emails or email or piece of copy and it performs better than what they're already doing, why would they not want to work with you further or look at ways in which you can come in and help them further with email marketing or other pieces of copywriting in their business? That's how a lot of my business relationships started in copywriting. They start with one little piece, you do a good piece of work for them, and then that kind of grows into all different things. Now, I did focus mainly on email copywriting, but you can branch out and do this in any different style of copywriting. I just like writing emails. When you're first starting out as well, just to point to this, you want to add a guarantee to what you're doing. Now, when you get good at this, good at copywriting, and you have, say, a bank of testimonials or some really nice words from people who you have helped, that kind of acts as your guarantee. That gives the brand or business confidence in you know what you're doing. So you don't essentially need a guarantee when you've got loads of case studies and good words from people. But when you're starting out and you don't have all that, you want to offer some sort of risk reversal or guarantee. So this essentially is where it could be a monetary thing. So it's like, look, if you pay me and this doesn't work or doesn't perform or isn't what you're after, I will give you all your money back. Or it could be a case of saying, look, I'll continue working with you until this piece of copy performs, or we can get this email campaign working and optimized to a certain level for nothing until you get to the level that you promised to raise it to. So if you promised a brand, hey, I believe I can increase your revenue by 10% just through email marketing, and you don't achieve that on the first go, then you can continue doing that and helping them and seeing if you can bump those numbers up until you reach that number. That's kind of a guarantee for a customer. But also you've got to think that even if it isn't to do with money and you're offering a risk reversal, that's still a risk for a client because they're investing their time and they're taking the risk of taking you on to start with. And that's time and energy away from a business owner. It's just good to know that though. But this is how I started out, and I'm just relaying this back to you, and hopefully something like this resonates with you. So let's talk about making money as a copywriter. This is what a lot of people want to know. They want to know how much to charge, how much you can make. So you can make a lot of money copywriting. There's no doubt about that. You can charge tens of thousands of pounds for your work. The thing is though, it's hard to get to that level when you're just first starting out, right? You can't just come out the gate and charge £10,000 for a sales page, £10,000 a month for retain a client. You don't have the confidence, you probably won't have the confidence, and you don't have the skills or results to back that up. So what I like to say is to people, create a no-brainer offer for your services. So you're not offering a business or a brand email copywriting. You're offering an outcome and a result. So you're offering to help a client take their revenue up by 10 points or by increase it by 10% through email marketing or something like that. There are many different offers you can create. I'm just trying to think on the spot. I'm not very good at thinking on the spot, on a video anyway. But my advice, don't go in and charge as little as you can because you don't believe you're worth something. Don't believe that you don't have any value because you're new to copywriting. That is not true at all. And charging lower prices will attract lower value businesses and lower value clients. And the people that pay the least are literally the biggest headaches, trust me. The people who pay more are way less headaches, less work, nicer to deal with, just nicer people in general, I found. Pay you more money, obviously, so you're doing less work, and you can take on more clients. So how much would I charge? I wouldn't charge anything less than £1,000 a month for my copywriting services. Now, when you're first starting out, I would ask the question, if I want to charge £1,000 to a business for my email copywriting service, what do I have to include in that for that £1,000 for that business to think it's an absolute no-brainer? So this could be a number of emails. This could be including that guarantee I was talking about. Is there something else you can help people out with outside of email marketing? But also don't offer too much for that £1,000 because £1,000 to a business that's already making a lot of money is probably not a lot of money. You want this to be a no-brainer offer for them. I'm going to do more videos on how to create an actual copywriting offer on this channel, so you can have almost like an offer buffet that you can offer your clients. That's kind of desirable for people. It doesn't pigeonhole you into having just one single productized offer. Let's say, for example, you are charging between £1,000 and £3,000 a month for every single client that you take on, which isn't a big ask, but it might be kind of just out of reach for you right now in terms of your confidence levels. But if you had, say, 3 to 5 of these clients paying you between 1 and 3k a month, that's between 5 and 15k a month for doing maybe, I don't know, say if it takes you 20 minutes to write an email, or half an hour to write an email, and you're writing 3 emails a week for a client, so that's 90 minutes a week. I'm just doing some maths on the spot here. Well, let's just say it's 2 hours a week per client. 2 for 8 hours a month per client, right? So you can work the numbers back there on how much you could potentially earn or how much time you want to devote to your skill of copywriting. And you can start to see where the flexibility and the freedom comes from creating your own independent income and working for yourself as a freelance copywriter. And obviously you can change these numbers around. You can start increasing your prices as your confidence and your skill set grows. That's what I did. That's what most people do. That's the logical thing. You charge more because you're better at your craft. Now, when you get to a point where you have ample amounts of clients to fund your lifestyle and you're like, right, okay, I'm happy with where I'm at, and you want to continue growing, but your time is now the cap. So you only have a certain number of hours in a day, and you obviously don't want to spend 24 hours a day, which, that's impossible, working and doing copywriting. At least I don't think you would be. So then it becomes a question of, okay, so how do we grow continually further? We can obviously increase our prices and kind of just keep our operation quite lean and high profit margins. Or we can look at starting something like an agency. So this is basically where you are the agency, and then once you get clients into your business, you then outsource the work to other copywriters, which you can find fairly straightforward and easily on all the platforms that are available now online. We've got Fiverr, Upwork, People Per Hour, there's probably so many more, where you can find high quality freelance writers who will write for a certain amount of money per hour per project, and you basically take a slice or a cut of the money that you generate from the client. And although you're not earning as much, you'll be able to scale a business further because your time is now no longer the cap. Whereas when you're working as a freelance copywriter on your own, you are the business, you are doing the work, you are providing the service. But when you get to a point where you want to grow even further, you can start bringing more copywriters in, outsource the work more, and give yourself even more free time and the potential to earn even more money. But you may not want to do that. That is not for everyone. Some people just want to keep things lean, run their own one-person micro business, and just live the lifestyle that they really want. So that's essentially where I would start copywriting. I will leave links in the description to anything I've talked about in this video, as well as how you can jump on my email list where I'm talking about copywriting tips, courses, and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to progress your career as a freelance copywriter, make sure you get on that email list and you'll get more details dropped in your inbox. And drop any comments below on any videos you want me to make or any questions you have on becoming a freelance copywriter, and I will try and get back to you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.